Hello everyone, today we're going to discuss the impact of Doom of Dimensions on YCS Lille that just happened a couple of weeks ago, and we have quite some cards in the set that, made an impact.
Cool enough, we do have actual statistics. We can give you numbers on how impactful those cards were at YCS Lille, and I'm going to lead off with Marshmao Yummy, and that one was in 17.3% of decks. So that's almost 1/5 of the players that were using Marshmao Yummy in their deck for YCS Lille. And I mean, plenty of reason to do so, because it's not only so strong for the Yummy deck itself, for the pure version of the deck, but also a strategy that has been evolving a little bit and has been seen already in top 8 of YCS Lille was of course also the Yummy Mitsurugi deck. So Marshmao Yummy, with its flexibility, gives you more pushes because it's another special summon of a Yummy monster to the field, which is very strong, makes the deck overall less impacted by opponents' interruptions, I would say.
Yeah, Yummy decks have been popping off left and right, especially with Mitsurugi lately. But if you have heard the broadcast in Lille, then you know that I'm a big Dracotail fan, and of course I can say that I'm very happy with the support the deck received in Doom of Dimensions. 13.8% of decks in Lille had Dracotail Sting in it, and Dracotail Sting that banishes a card from your opponent's graveyard, or even two if you take a Spell and Trap and a monster, and then of course recycles another Dracotail card and draws a card, just really helps you with the grind game. Having access to 3 different trap cards that get to recycle cards from your graveyard or banishment are absolutely crucial for the deck. And then of course Dracotail Frixel, the monster card, it has a really important attribute actually, because it is the only light Dracotail main deck monster, and that is crazy because if you want to summon Albion the Branded Dragon with Branded Fusion, you can actually just send Frixel Dracotail and the Fallen of Albas together, so you can immediately set up your Mirror Jade, the Iceblade Dragon, and of course also have a Kato Dracotail or a Rahu Dracotail setup.
Yeah, interesting enough, that was only in 13% of decks, so more people decided to play Sting and a little less of the Dracotail players decided to end up playing the Frixel. Do you have an explanation for that? It's just probably Sting is more generic, right?
I think Sting has also been added to many side decks if players decided not to play this card in the main deck, and Frixel most of the time has been played in the branded version. There it's an absolute staple. In the other decks, you can still decide if you want to play it. I would argue for it because it gives you quite some resources. If your opponent, for example, destroys one of your fusion monsters, you have a Pan in the graveyard, you can put back the Pan on bottom of your deck, summon back a Frixel, Frixel summons Lucius, adds back Frixel to the hand, Lucius adds a 5 mana, and then you have so many resources just from your opponent destroying your cards.
Yeah, that's true. Another deck that was introduced, of course, in Justice Hunters, but now got massive support and another staple in the new set Doom of Dimensions was the K9 archetype. And K9 got the K904 Noroi, and that is the normal summon you always want to have now with this deck. As on its normal summon, you get to special summon a non-machine K9 monster from the deck. And then, as long as that monster is on the field, you can only go into K9 Exceed monsters. But after you've done that then, and usually you want to go into the Ripper anyways, then you are free to do whatever you want afterwards again. So this card was in 11% of players' decks. So more than every 10th player has decided to include Noroi, and therefore probably also include a bigger K9 package in general, which is interesting to see because the second effect of Noroi is actually really good as well. As if you started or if you somehow went through a case for K9, which of course is a continuous spell card, you can send that away basically for free to look into your opponent's hand. And we know historically in Yu-Gi-Oh history, having knowledge about the opponent's hand, being able to adjust your turn, adjust your strategy, adjust your field towards the needs of what your opponent has for their turn already ready, makes it so much easier, makes it so much better. You can have such a clear plan to go into the duel then.
You can just set up your interruptions better, and you mentioned something interesting, that usually with the K904 Noroi, you want to always go into the Ripper. But in this case, there is also another K9 Exceeds monster that was in 8.5% of the decks, K966X Jax, and this is of course a card that you can summon with Noroi, but this card, when it is Exceed summoned or when your opponent activates an effect in hand or graveyard, you can actually just detach one material and then destroy a monster on the field. So this card is just extra removal, helps you play through fields, or if you use Lupus on the opposing turn, you actually get to pop a monster.
Yeah, I think with Lupus it has major applications, and therefore also people included this. This probably not only necessarily in those heavy K9 decks, but also just with the small K9 package of Izuna plus the Lupus, having that opportunity to summon it out on the opponent's turn seems valuable, seems important. Let us know what you think was the most important card releasing in Doom of Dimensions for the current metagame, or maybe the card you are using the most, and then we see you for another video here on the channel.